Hi all, welcome to Java Talent. In today's video, I'm going to cover Spring Boot Actuator. So basically, what is Actuator and what is the benefit of using it, and what is the actuator endpoints that we are having in Spring Boot applications. So that I'm going to cover today. So basically, the Spring Boot module actuator allows us to monitor and manage the application usage in the production environment. Basically, without any coding and configuration for any one of them, it will allow us to monitor and manage the information. And this has been exposed via REST like endpoint. Simple URLs. It is the simple endpoint URLs which is going to be used in every application. So for example, if we are going to develop any Spring Boot application, so for that we need to check the health of that applications and then matrices of that applications, login scenarios and all. So this will be the actuator endpoints that we can use within our application. So it will be very helpful. So let me go through the by creating one project, then we can go ahead. So let me create one simple Spring Boot applications. So now this time I am going to use from my Eclipse IDs to generate my project. So I'm just going to create new project and this will be the Spring Starter project. So here I need to provide the details for my project. So I am going to use the name Spring Boot Actuator and dependency I am going to use Maven. You can use Maven or Gather. Packaging jar and Java version this time I am going to use 17 and language Java. Group ID I am taking as com.javatalent and artifact Spring Boot Actuator. Snapshot is this one and actuator Spring Boot Actuator example. This is the description. Now I'm going to add some dependency, like first one will be Spring Boot Actuator dependency. So I have this one, I need to add this Spring Boot Actuator dependency. Okay, and now then I am going to use Spring Web to make our application as RESTful applications. Spring Web. Now the third one is I'm going to use this Spring Boot DevTools so that I do not need to restart my applications whether I'm going to make any changes. So this DevTools is not mandatory to work with the actuators. So you can select this one or you can ignore this Spring Boot DevTools for now. So let me create this project. So Actuator basically provides us a list of available built-in endpoints which get enabled with the addition of the Actuator dependency. This dependency basically, whatever the dependency I have added. So if you see, the dependency is this one, Spring Boot Starter Actuator dependency. Whatever we have used, this will allow us to use the Actuator endpoint. However, in the latest versions, only two endpoints are enabled by default, health and info. And then to understand the various endpoints, let me create the controller class first. So basically, I'm not going to use three version. Once I will introduce the features of that, then I will go ahead. So for now, I am making this project as 2.7.7 version. So I have changed this version here. So the red symbol is coming up. So no problem. You can just clean this project and update the Maven. Maven update project. Once you update the project, it will resolve because there is no any problem. Okay, so now this time I need to create one controller simply. So for that I am going to create the simple package com.java talent.controller. And then I'm just going to create one controller class, actuator example controller. I'm going to create this controller class, actuator example controller. Okay, so to make it as RESTful web services, I need to annotate this class with REST controller. And I'm just going to create one endpoints with the just simply return the string message, print message, and this will be the get endpoint. So I'm simply writing here endpoint's name is hello. This will print simple one text message, hi hello. So let me return the message, hi, welcome to Java Talent. Simply this message I am returning. Let me return the date and time. So to return the date and time, you know very well, we just need to create the object for new date class. So just to sake of the printing the one more things like date and time. So I am using this one. Okay. So this is our endpoints, which is ready. So we can just run this project and then see what is the output. So simply right click, run as Spring Boot application and see the output console. So actually we have added the DevTools. So if you see here, DevTools property defaults activated. And if you see the actuators endpoints is slash actuators. So which is the by default, we can customize this endpoint also as per our requirement. If you want to change this one, we will do it in today's session as well. So our application is running on 8080 port with actuator endpoints. So let me show you what is the default endpoints. We will get it. Localhost and our get and reach hello. So simply see we are able to get our message. Hi, welcome to Java Talent and the date whatever we have used in our project. So now I need to check for the actuator endpoint. So what is the actuator endpoint? Simply with the localhost actuator. So health is the predefined one, which is default. We do not need to configure any endpoint for this health endpoint. So it will be come automatically. See, our status is up, which is denotes like for the health endpoints, we need to use such like this one, actuator health. So it will be coming at status as up. That means our application is well and up and running, means there is no any such type of problem. And if you are going to hit your endpoint, you might not get this proper JSON response in your browser, whether it will be a Google Chrome or any other browser you are using. So for that, what we need to do is we need to simply add the one extension. So what is that extension? JSON formatter extension we need to add. Let me do that. JSON formatter extension. If you click on the Google, it will go to this JSON formatter. Actually, I have added that extension already in my system. So for that reason, the output of the JSON is coming in the beautified manner. Otherwise, you will get this raw messages like this. In your browser, you will get this raw messages. So you can add this JSON formatter extension because I have already added here. So it is going to remove this one. So for you, if you are the first time, so you can just get it here like add to Chrome. Okay. So this one, if you added, your output of the JSON will become beautified. So this is the predefined endpoint. What we are getting as default is health. Okay. So what are the endpoints? how many endpoints is there. So let me show you one by one. So there is the some settings in the application.properties file. What we will need to enable all the endpoints. Like if I want to enable all the endpoints, let me do that. Let me put some comment. Enable all endpoints. Management dot endpoint dot web dot exposure. If you see, there is the exclude and include, so we need to include our endpoint. So for now I'm just going to include all the endpoint. For that reason we need to use management.endpoints.web.exposure.include of asterisk. So see, once I have saved this project, if you notice, our application is rerun. See, this was the earlier timestamp, but when I save this one another time, it has been already restarted my application. Why? Because we have added our dev tools as the dependency. So let me go and hit the endpoint now this time. So see, this time if I am hitting the endpoint actuators, I am getting more over the results. See, bins is there, cache is there, health is there, info, environment and loggers, head dump, thread dump, matrices and mapping, schedule tasks. So let me go through one by one. So for example, if you want to enable only one endpoint, or if you want to enable more than one endpoint, like 2 endpoints, 3 endpoints. So for that, what we will need to do? So for that, just we need to give the name of that endpoints with the comma, like comma separator we can use. For example, for this one, I just want to, let me stop the server. I just want to enable 2 endpoint only, info and environment. So for that one, we need to do like this way. Let me run the program. If you run the program, let's see. See, this time info is there and the environment is there. Means 2 endpoints is only coming because we have enabled only 2 endpoints. So see, hit the endpoint of info because we have not configured any informational informations to the our project. For that reason, it is just showing the blank. And environment endpoints, if you are enabled, this will be list out all the environmental specifications for your system or for your applications. So let me go one by one. I will enable all endpoints and describe more in details. So let me comment this line and uncomment this one. So now this time we have included all our endpoints and then we will go ahead. So let's discuss the environment endpoints. What is the environment endpoints? So let me hit this one. So I am picking up environment endpoints, ENV. See, so environment endpoints is to view all the list of environment variables, whatever used in our applications. It will list out all these environment variables. So if you see here, property source, it is showing that what is the port number we are using for our applications, server.ports. Servlet context init parameters, it will be listing all the properties, but there is no anything. And like system properties, it is getting this one. Like if you see the Java version, it is 16 version of Java we are using. My CPU system is configured as, what is the CPU configuration? AMD64. What is the encoding standard? CP1252. Like what is the class path for our class project that we have added in this applications? All the list of the class path value it is populating. Authentication mechanism we are not included. That why it is false. What is the vendor of Java Virtual Corporations? What Java version we are using? Oracle Corporations. What is the model? 64. Means you can get it like all the details like system properties details and all. Environment specific, like see, what is the time zone? SCR Calcutta. What is the Java version? 16. What is the operating system? My operating system Windows 10. Sun standard means all the details you can get it through this environment specific for the environment endpoints. Okay, like such as the operating system, CPU version, and CPU type, encoding type, and so on. Okay, so let me go with the matrix endpoints. The next one will be matrix. So we have gone through this ENB endpoints and matrix. So let me go through the matrix. So just in place of ENB, type the matrix. So matrix is it will be view the application matrix such as memory used, which memory is used, how many memory is free in your in your laptop on the desktop or whatever the machine you are using, threads, classes, system uptime and system downtime, JVM buffer count, like etc. There will be the multiple endpoints that you can check through this matrices. Matrix. See, if I have heated this matrix, let me show you the actuator first. So if you see, there is the matrix. Let me show you. See, matrix is there, so that will list out all the matrix endpoints like this one, and there is the specific required matrix name. So if you will provide the matrix name, it will give the information specific to that matrix. For example, let me see the memory, maximum memory, JVM maximum memory for this one. So if I will go and put that endpoint, it will show the maximum memory. See, JVM memory max, the maximum amount of memory in the bytes. Actually, it will list out in the bytes memory management. So this is the maximum memory for my laptop. And available tax area, what is the value? Heap and non-heap. The value is there. Like all the value details, it is populating. So see, if I just wanted to check for my CPU count, so if you hit this CPU type, you will get the specific count. And let me go with this Tomcat session creation matrices. See, so it is going that because there is no any sessions I have used, for that it is showing the null. And let's see, disk space is there. So what is the max disk for my this one? So this is the value, and this is the path for my specific available tags and all. Fine. So this is the matrix endpoints through which we can calculate, track the system CPU usage, memory maximum, and all. Okay. JVM buffer count, how many memory count is there, what is the buffer count it is using. Such type of informations you can get through this endpoint. See, non-volatile memory map directive is there, and all the details it is populating. Okay. So there is a several other endpoints also that you can check, like such as let me list out that endpoints for you. Let me make some small fonts. Okay, so I am just listing out that endpoints, and then I will describe, and then I will show the in practical. Bins. So bins endpoints, it will display a complete list of all these Spring bins in your application and its types. What is the scopes? What is the dependency? Let me show you. Actuators bins. So if you are able to see, it will list out all the complete list of Spring bins. What is the Spring bin? How many it is there? What is the scope like singleton? And it will be list out all the list of the bins. How many bins it has been created like this matrix endpoints. So this is the type. This is the resource class. This is the configuration class, and this is the dependency from where it is picking up this value. Like task singleton class, it is taking task execution auto configurations. Like there is no any dependency for this auto configurations. Like such type of information you can grab from this bins endpoints. Now mapping endpoints. Let me show you the mapping endpoints. So mapping endpoints is basically it will show a collated list of all the request mapping paths. If you are using your any method like get, post, put, patch, delete, that will be populated by which handler. What is the handler? What is the predicate type? Get. What is the consumer? Means what is it will be going to consume? What is the headers information? What is the method information? What is the parameters list? What is the patterns? And what it will be produces? Like if you are going to use JSON productions, production application hyphen JSON. So what it will be producing? Like for this get call, for this post call, and like this get actuator health, and then get actuator health slash health, means that will be populating all the your actuator endpoints for that particular mappings, request mapping, whatever you have used. Fine. And then coming to the next one is like cache. If your application is using cache, so you can list out this one. But in our case, we have not implemented any cache mechanisms. So for that, it is not giving any details. And if you are using your loggers information in your application, it will, there is the one loggers. So see how many loggers labels is there? 6 of error, 1 info debug crash. So these many loggers information is there. It will be captured. And there is the schedule task. If your application is using any Chrome jobs or any schedule task, so it will be display here. Fixed delay, fixed rate, custom, and Chrome expressions if you are using. But in our case, we are not using any Chrome expressions. We have not scheduled any scheduler. So for that reason, it is giving the blank. But the actuator, but the endpoints is working fine. Okay. So there is the one info endpoints. Let me show you that info endpoints. So this info endpoints is becoming as the null because it will be in our application there is no any information we have provided with this endpoints. So for that reason it is not populating. So if you are going to create any custom informations through your applications by putting the informatical information in the application or properties file, it will collect it. So I will create one more video that will basically include like info and Spring Security Actuators endpoints. And then I will create one, and the same video I will create the custom endpoints, Spring Actuator custom endpoints. How we can create our own endpoints, custom endpoints. Okay, so I will create that one later. You can go through that videos. And then in our applications, I've already demonstrated it. This will be enable all the endpoints, but if you want to enable any specific endpoints, you can do like this way. Or if you want to exclude any specific endpoints, here we have included all, and then I just wanted to exclude info or env endpoints only. So we can do that by using this exclude. So you can provide set of more endpoints, like for example, I am excluding this info endpoints basically. So this time my program is rerun once again. So this time my info endpoint will not work. So I have excluded that. Let me test it. See, we are getting the white label error page because this is the default error page. So for that reason, let me show the actuator. So see, all the actuator it is listing, but it has been removed this only info endpoints. Let me remove the matrix as well. If you see my browser, at the last matrix is coming up, but we have excluded that. Let me rerun it. See, actuators, that actuators matrix one is gone. So like this way you can exclude any specific endpoints, and like this way you can include any specific endpoints. This will include all your endpoints. So this is the basic use cases. So now I'm coming to the more details, like how we can customize our actuator endpoints. Base path, base path customization. Like we are using this one actuator for our actuator endpoints. So I just want to customize this endpoints, and I want to make our actuator will work on the different endpoints. For example, Java talent. I want my actuator will run on this slash Java talent endpoints. So let me do that. How we can do this? Let me go through. So by default, it will go for the, let me stop my project. So it will go for the actuator endpoints. And if you see the console, there also you will see definitely exposing 11 endpoints beneath on this particular actuator path. So let me do that. So to do that, in the project properties file, application.properties file, we need to configure like this way: management dot endpoints dot web base path. So this is the one properties which we need to include slash Java talent. So now this time, if I am running this project, we will see our actuator endpoints will become customized, what we have given. See, this time it is Java talent. So to access that endpoints, now this time in place of actuator, I need to write Java talent. See, and all the root path for that actuator will become Java talent only. Java talent base, Java talent cache, Java talent health, and all. See, health is up, config props, all the configurations, whatever they are in this our project, it has been showing here. env, see, this environment specific endpoints. Now if you see, our root one is becoming Java talent. Okay, so this is what I just wanted to cover in the today's session. So you can capture this one, and please subscribe my channel and like my videos for further updates. Thank you so much.